Hello, this is Michael Eure, and I'd like to invite you to the Michael Eure Show, featuring student hosts and very special guests talking about a variety of interesting topics. You can find us on the Eagle Stream YouTube channel. Good afternoon and welcome to the Michael Eure Show. We have a very exciting lineup of people today, and we're going to start off. We just got so much to do. We're going to do these quick introductions, and we're going to start off with Jerry because Jerry does it every time. He's just giving y'all a way to do it, and this is going to be quick, and we're going to go back and ask you a lot more later.
Hi, my name is Jerry Greene. I'm my second year here at Wake Tech. I'm majoring in cybersecurity, and I've been working alongside Michael Eure here as a student success coach. Student Success Outreach Ambassador, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Angelica?
I'm Angelica Ramirez Blanks. I work in the Office of Career Services. I am a career coach here, and I assist students with exploring their career options, getting them ready for the workforce, everything from mock interviews, resumes, cover letters, you name it. We help them decide their majors and ensure that they have the tools they need to succeed.
Thank you. And now we're going to do Cindy and then Albert and then Sarah. And they are our special guests from the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences.
Hi, I'm Cindy Bogan. I'm coordinator of volunteers and interns at the Museum of Natural Sciences. And I've been with the museum in this position for about 7 years.
And I'm Albert Ervin. I'm the Director of Guest and Volunteer Services. We've existed as a section for about 1.5 years now, but I've been with the museum as a staff member for 21 years, and I started volunteering back in 1986.
Now, I was going to say, Sarah, we saved the best for last. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Irizarry. I am the interim head of Volunteer and Intern Services for the Museum of Natural Sciences. I also started off as a volunteer with Albert, actually back in 2017, and I've been on with the museum as a staff member in different capacities since 2018.
All right. So thank you. And now Sarah's going to take us all over to the side, and we're going to look at a link from the Student Success Coaching or Student Engagement and Impact. And this is the first time that we've done it this way. But Student Engagement and Impact, these are all the offices that are associated with us. So you want to stop right there, please. We do laptops, food, emergency funds. We have the Wake Tech Wellness Counselors, Pathways, Male Mentoring. The Nest is a food pantry. Oval is the Office of Volunteerism and Leadership, and we have a program called Fostering Bright Futures, which works with students that were in foster care. And at the bottom, what you see is Michael Coleman. He's the Dean of Student Engagement and Impact, and Melody Henderson is the Director of Student Support Programs. And then this is Eliani Hernandez Acosta, and she just joined us about a month or so ago, and she is the assistant to the dean. So we want to go back up to where it says Student Success Coaching, and just click on that box. And this takes you to the Student Success Coach page, and we're going to want to scroll down a little bit. And I'm going to let you see who all the coaches are this time, and then we're going to go back because we've got some new ones. Sharia Ards is on the Northern Wake campus with me, and then that is me. And then we have Ashley Wheeler. She's on the Southern Wake campus. Enrique Rodriguez is also our women's soccer coach, and he's on the Northern Wake campus. And William Nunley is on the Southern Wake campus. And this lady just came Monday, the bottom two, Sarah Dominguez. She is on the Southern Wake campus at the moment, but she's coming to the Northern Wake when we come back in the new year because we're doing some renovations. And Ashley Davis right now is on the Southern Wake campus, and we are expecting to hire 5 more coaches. So that is what we do. But I want to go back up a little bit, Sarah, to the resources. Right there. And we want to click on Career and Employment Resources in the middle. And this is where we send students to a lot, and we're going to do schedule an online appointment. Yes. And this is just so students can see how to get there. And at the top, you see the virtual determine a major to the right, and then the virtual clarify a career goal. And at the bottom left, virtual job search, networking. So this is just the things they do, preparing resumes, interviews, and they do something specific with our health sciences. And that's it for today for that. And then we're going to do a quick PowerPoint that Jerry Greene put together for us about the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. And thank you, Jerry. You did a great job. And Jerry said he went to that museum. He remembers when he was a little kid, a little boy, going there and having fun. So he had fun researching this. And can you find that? Yes, thank you. So Jerry, do you want to talk about these slides, or do you want me to say something? I would prefer you to talk about them since you put it together.
I don't have much to say about the slides, but I know I recognize a lot of the dinosaur skeleton. Put a few of those pictures in there.
All right, so we're gonna just advance to the next. This is wonderful. That's the museum. This is what eat and shop. They got nice food in there, lots of stuff. Discover, enjoy, and join, and go to the next. And this is gonna be put in the chat for the audience, so you can go back and see this. Natural Exploration Center, next. And I'm running because I know that we got a lot to do. Natural Treasures of North Carolina. And this is a nice museum. I don't know exactly what that is. Can somebody at the museum tell me what that is?
That is an emerald tree boa, and they're found in the Amazon, so the jungles of Central South America.
Okay, next. All right, that looks like a deer. One of Santa's helpers. And next, and then we have the dinosaurs that you were talking about, Jerry.
I went in this particular room a lot. I think this is like the 3rd floor, I believe. I'm not sure, but I remember going to this room a lot when I was a little kid.
Okay.
Yeah, and the dinosaur with the sharp teeth, that's the Acrocanthosaurus, and that's one of our really big featured dinosaurs that we're really proud of here at the museum.
I'm learning. Next. Ooh, that's a snake of some sort. Tell us about that one, Albert, since you know about the snakes.
Well, this looks like it's some sort of a rattlesnake. I'm not sure if it's a timber rattler. Cindy might know. She's also got a lot of science. Or Sarah. We all, have been here a while, and we love this place.
Anybody?
I believe that's the timber rattler.
Okay.
She's very big.
Woo, too big for me. Next. All right, Nature Research Center. Okay, because your museum is really 2 buildings joined together, isn't it? Okay, and you got that wonderful globe. And it's right downtown, right next to the state capitol, in between the capitol and the legislative building. Very prominent location. Next. Woo. Anybody?
This is
that's the whale. She's a right whale.
Okay.
That was actually found off the coast of North Carolina and Virginia.
Thank you. Next. Okay. It looks like Jurassic Park, but we'll just keep going because I want to get to y'all. This and for the audience, you got to go to this museum. It's a wonderful place. I think it's basically free. They may have some paid things, and this is the end of this show. So now we're going to go back and we're going to start the questioning with. I'll be quiet and let Jerry do some questions.
Yeah, I got a question for Sarah, Albert, and Cindy. And can you please give us a little bit more detail about yourself and what are some things you enjoy, and how did you get to the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences? In whichever order you prefer.
I'll go first. I actually got here via my husband, who actually works here before I did. He is actually the curator of malacology. So we came down here in 1996 from New Jersey. And let me tell you what malacology is first, because some people may not know that. That is the study of mollusks, including snails, bivalves, clams, snails, and squid and octopus, and chitons. There's a lot of different animals in this. Right. So we came down for that. I volunteered in the museum for many years until about 2008 when I started working here. And I've had several positions before I landed in the volunteer position. So, but my background is actually anthropology. Okay.
Next question. And Angelica, we're going to ask you to chime in at certain points, but we're directing the question to those 3 first, okay?
All right, can someone talk about the processes for applying for internships and volunteer opportunities at the Museum of Natural Sciences?
And if you would like, at this point, you can ask Sarah to pull up your link if you would like, or you can just answer the question, whichever way.
I think our Sarah is very qualified to answer that question.
All right.
And I'm sorry, could you repeat the question again? I'm having some connection issues.
Can you talk about some of the ways for applying for internships and volunteer opportunities at the Museum of Natural Sciences?
Yeah, absolutely. So internships, that's the one that's a little bit more straightforward right now. So we do internships for the fall semester, the spring semester, and the summer semester. So our spring semester internships, those applications actually just closed in early November. So we will have our spring interns coming up here in January. So our next internship application cycle for the summer, we will have those opportunities posted on our portal. Those should be posted sometime early in January, and those applications will close on March the 1st. So yeah, like Sarah's showing right here, this is our Volunteer and Intern Services portal. So this is where you can find out about our internship deadlines, any of the internship descriptions, all of that stuff is posted there, as well as information about our partner internships. Because right now we are actually in the application process for the DOA internships. So that is a paid internship through the Department of Administration. It is $12 an hour, 40 hours a week for 10 weeks over the summer. And the museum actually is hosting 12 out of the 97 internships hosted across the entire state. So on that, I went ahead on our partner internship page, pulled out all of the ones that are specifically going to be hosted at the museum. And there's also links on there to DOA about the requirements as far as GPA, the big things. You have to be a permanent state resident of North Carolina. You have to hold at least a 2.5 GPA, and you have to be enrolled in classes for the fall. So not only do we have our 12 internships, but there's internships all over the state in a lot of different capacities. And it's all sponsored through DOA, which is really awesome because we don't always have the opportunity to host paid internships. So we love this program. As far as volunteering is concerned, right now we are in a big holding maybe pattern with a lot of things that are going on. So we recently had the opportunity to host a couple of virtual recruitment sessions, because on both the internship page and the volunteer page of the portal, you'll see that there's a little button that'll take you to the volunteer application or the internship application. And we accept volunteers on like a rolling basis, but it really depends on what our supervisors need, because not only is the museum comprised of researchers, educators, there's also, people behind the scenes. There's folks in guest services, there's folks in communication, there's people in all sorts of different capacities, because it takes a lot of different people to keep the museum running. So we love to have volunteers in all those different areas. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, is the big maybe of everything, is that we'll be able to start having more regular recruitment sessions, hopefully by the early in next year, if numbers keep trending in the right direction. I know some of our educational spaces really rely on our volunteers and our interns, and we're hoping to be able to welcome more people here soon. But like I said, all of that information, I try to keep the portal updated, so all of that stuff is online.
All right. And to the audience, yes, if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. And at this time, I'm going to ask a question, but I'm going to ask it of Angelica. Now that you've heard all of that, can we kind of encourage our students to go to career services to get their resumes ready and do these actual applications? Is that a service you provide?
100% yes. So we definitely encourage all students to come to our offices as often as they need. We can definitely help them get their resumes, cover letters ready, do some mock interviewing so that they're prepared for these opportunities. And also, I think Sarah's story about how, and Albert for that matter, the fact that you all started off as volunteers is a really powerful message too, to students, just to say, if you're interested in these fields, get involved how you can on a volunteer basis, and then who knows, they can open up into some amazing career opportunities. So absolutely send them all our way.
All right. And we like to ask a lot of questions, but when we have one from the chat, we like to ask that. So we have a question from Laura, and it might be our friend Laura Bethea. So you know her, Jerry, so ask that question.
Yeah, Laura Bethea says, Love these internship opportunities available throughout the state. What key factors or attributes are you considering as you are hiring your interns?
You guys want me to take that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that application process, that is all done through the Department of Administration. So that is something that we just get the word out to our supervisors that DOA is accepting project proposals. And, luckily we got all of our proposals accepted, which is really awesome. But I know from screening interns for that program myself, some of the big things, things like your availability is really important, because depending on whatever it is you're doing, especially with the museum in particular, we are open from 10 to 5, Tuesday through Sunday. So typically volunteers and interns are in the building between those hours, but there are other areas like in our animal husbandry where they primarily work in the mornings. So they need people that are available in the mornings. So that's something that can really be a deciding factor as to whether or not folks get to the point where they can potentially be interviewed. And the thing to remember there too is that even if you don't think that I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. Like, I would say just apply for the things that you're interested in. Just start there, because we've had plenty of interns in our own internal programs that, we saw their applications and on paper they just did not look very great. They didn't look good at all. But then they got in there and they had something that you can't really put on paper. They had that drive to get better and to do better. And they showed up and they kept showing up and they improved themselves over time. And that's also something, especially in a lot of those different capacities where you're working with the public, that is so much more important than you having taken a specific class or have a very specific set of skills. The important thing is that you want to show up and you're there to do the work. And that really speaks for itself.
All right. And we have we have a few more questions, and I want to announce to the audience that are used to the 12 to 12:30 that we're going to do this like a class, like last time, and we're going to be here till at least 12:50. So we're going to do a break at 12:30, and we're going to give you a quick entertainment piece of, and I think you'll enjoy it. So right now, I'm going to ask Sarah, can you put more questions? Enrique Rodriguez, he's the newest success coach, and as I said earlier, he is the women's soccer coach. So you want to ask that, Jerry?
Enrique asks, is it any age limit for volunteering?
Absolutely not. We have a minimum age to volunteer with our program. You have to at least be 18, but maximum age, we love to have everybody come on and volunteer with us. We do have a separate program for our teens that are under the age of 18.
Dr. Chris O'Riordan Aja, he's the head of our engineering, social engineering transfer program. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Chris asks, what volunteering opportunities does the North Carolina Museum have for engineering students?
Well, that's a harder question to answer. We do have a wide selection of opportunities for folks, but we also encourage people to think really outside the box. So we have an exhibitions department, and they do a lot of really creative work that, while it might not be specifically about engineering, could utilize some of the skills that an engineering major might have. So I encourage you to really look at all the opportunities and think, how does my skill set or my interest, my passion fit in with the opportunities that are available at the museum? If you're interested in coming to the museum, we have folks that do administrative work. It's very important to keep the place running. We have folks that, as I said, do exhibits work. We have folks that work in research and collections. So people that work with the, collecting the specimens that are foundational for our research institution, as well as a lot of other things. So, and the thing is to be aware that that changes all the time, because as some volunteers move away or decide to move on to other opportunities in their lives, new things open up all the time. And our Sarah is super good at keeping that portal updated. She's, what's on there is what's available right now. So take a look at it.
And I will chime in. Oh, let's do the other question, but I'm gonna chime in real quick. We do have skilled trades as well. So when his department is called biopharmaceutical, they just changed it, biopharmaceutical engineering. What is the next word? I don't know, but skills, BEST is what it stands for, BESTT, but technology and trades, or trades and technology. So all of those opportunities, because I know you build these spectacular exhibits and they might be able to help in those ways. All right, I'm gonna be quiet. From Sonia Hayes.
Sonia Hayes asks, are volunteer opportunities offered in all departments at the museum, or are there specific departments that generally have volunteers?
All right, and I think Sarah is having a little bit of technical difficulty, so she definitely wants Cindy or Albert to answer this question.
Okay, I'll answer that question. Most of our department sections of the museum actually do have volunteers from time to time. More often, our education department section has the majority of the volunteers, and our living collections. But we also have a lot of volunteers in our research and collections. But a lot of our researchers are also professors at some of the local universities. And so a lot of times they actually take their own students first. So we don't get as many volunteers. But one of our people, Bucky Gates, was teaching classes at Wake Tech in paleontology, and brought in some Wake Tech students in the past couple of years.
And we were really excited to be introduced to all of you. You never know who that's gonna throw your name out there. But I was excited that you wanted to work with Wake Tech. And for our students, if you're thinking about questions, please ask them in the chat, because Angelica has a cool giveaway, as Sonia said last time, to give you. And you want to win this, but you need to ask questions to win. So I'm going to let Jerry go to the next question. And my question y'all can do later. I think you alluded to, are you associated with other sites, not just in Raleigh, but your museum itself? Do you have satellite locations? Okay.
Yes, we do. We have a regional network of museums across the state. We have a new site that joined us this fall in Greenville, North Carolina. There's another site affiliated with them in Contentnia Creek, just a few miles away. And we also have Prairie Ridge here in Raleigh. So that's another satellite site in Raleigh that you can go to. That's our outdoor education center. And then, of course, we have our branch in Whiteville, North Carolina. So that's down south. It's actually due south of Raleigh, but it's in the eastern part of the state. So if you look at a map, it's due south. And it's where Sarah lives is halfway between, so Sarah's in Fayetteville. So she could go to either of our locations if we have a special event or a need for that. But what's interesting is we have interns and volunteers at all of these locations. So if you're someone who is a student at Wake Tech, but you have family in one of these other locations and you want to do volunteer work or interning for a short period of time at one of these locations, there's some of those options for you too. So eventually we're hoping to have our regional network continue to grow across the state and be able to provide services to people all over North Carolina.
We have a little while to go, about 7 minutes before we do our halftime, and we're going to have a good time. It won't be the Super Bowl, but it'll be close enough. Y'all will be happy. So you want to ask another question, Jerry?
Yeah. Question for Sarah, Albert, and Cindy. What are some interesting activities that are currently planned for the museum?
Well, either of you two chime in. I'm always happy to talk. But right now, we've got a special exhibition. It's called Exquisite Creatures, and it's going to be here through March of next year. So that's one thing that, can come any day that we're open and take a look at this beautiful exhibition. It is where art and science meet. Now, there is a fee for that, admission fee for that. We also have 3D movies that we play on days that we're open, and that also has a fee. But almost everything else at our museum is free. And so we have ongoing programming at the museum. So I would encourage you, if there's a day you're looking at coming to the museum, go to our website at naturalsciences.org, and in the top banner, click on events, and then look for the link to our events calendar, and it will show you anything special that's going on the particular day that you're interested in coming. And just like Sarah updates the volunteer portal, volunteer and intern portal, our folks also update that part of the museum so that people can check it out. Oh, and thank you. If you could back up one screen, I guess this is on a rolling thing. Yeah, there you go. So that's Exquisite Creatures. And then, of course, we have our own podcasts, so you can check those out. And then, of course, coming up there's a big project that we're working on called Dueling Dinosaurs. And that is due to open up when we get that part of the building built. But it's a really cool exhibit that's going to be about a T-Rex and a Triceratops that were caught in stone in what we believe is this, they were in a battle to the death. And this is one of the first times that this has really been found in the fossil record. We kind of have known they lived at the same time, but they've not been actually caught in the throes of battle, so to speak. And again, this is a story as we understand it. Our researchers are going to spend many, many years chipping away at the rock to figure out if those two dinosaurs really did die at the same time in the same place, or if their bones were just deposited in the same place. So it's still a mystery, and we're going to be working on finding that out. But it seems like it's a really compelling story. So keep coming back over the next few years. And this project is, like I said, a really big thing that's happening. We're going to be adding to the Nature Research Center. And once we open, this is going to be a great opportunity for volunteers who are interested in paleontology to come and help us to share that story with the public. And I'm sure there's going to be internships as well for that. So, keep posted, keep looking for that. But we know we're going to need a lot of help to tell that story. Cindy or Sarah, you have anything to add to that?
I was going to add, with visiting us, I would say the best time to come is on the weekends because parking is free in the area. Because usually during the week there is a parking lot that's really close by. There's also street parking, and we have a parking deck behind the Nature Research Center. But all of those options are paid. So weekends, that's the time I always encourage people to come because it's a lot easier to park downtown and the parking is free.
All right, and we're getting really close, but I know we have some questions in the chat from some students, and Angelica's going to be paying attention so she can decide who gets that prize. So Sarah, can you put them up? Laura Bethay, she's not a student, but we're going to do her real first. Quick, Jerry.
Laura Bethay says, what do you perceive to be some of the most unique, out-of-the-box internship or volunteer opportunities currently available at the museum?
Cindy?
That's hard.
That's a very hard question. We think they're all normal, but a lot of people think they're all out of the box. So, I mean,
Exactly.
For us, it's just a normal day. I mean, we walk in and, someone's talking about the sick snake, or, the sloth got out, or, something, I mean, the sloth doesn't get out anymore. So those are just common occurrences. It's, so they're all kind of out of the box for some people.
Thank you. Next question. Jack Miller. Hey, Jack.
Miller says, can you describe what interning would be like at the museum?
That's another hard one, Cindy, because it really depends on what your internship is. But the thing that I would say is kind of like Cindy was describing with, our normal is a lot different than most people's normal. It's just the fact that you really have to come in expecting the unexpected. I mean, even just, in guest services at our information desk, we'll have people come in, somebody will come in with a box of rocks and they swear that they're fossils or shark teeth or something, and they want us to do something with it right that second. I know when the History Museum, when they first had their Pirate Fest, the Pirate Festival event, we had people coming into the museum who were cosplaying as pirates, and we had to remind them that they can't walk around the museum cosplayed as pirates with very realistic looking weapons. It's really it's such a mixed bag, and I don't know about the two of you, but sometimes I have a really hard time describing exactly what my job is. Um, just to people in general, because it can, like, range the gambit of all sorts of different things outside of whatever our job description is. But I would say the common thing with all of those internships is being able to share the joy of the museum, being able to share your love of science with the public. That is probably one of the biggest common threads of most of our internships and volunteer opportunities as well.
Yeah,
Interns will also learn a little bit from their supervisors and then do a project or many small projects during the time of their internship. So they could be doing curation in research and collections. We have over 1 million specimens in our research collections, anywhere from little tiny snails to big sharks that are in tanks that are 12 feet long. I mean, there's just a variety. It's just such a variety of things that they could do depending on where people have interest.
and if you're someone who really loves just talking to people, interacting with the public, so if you're someone who is in hospitality, guest services is a great place for folks like that, because we have a chance to talk to, under normal circumstances, we'll have over 1 million people a year come in our museum. And so being able to greet those people, welcome them to the museum, let them know all the different things that we offer on the various floors of the museum, as well as knowing enough about the volunteer program and the research to share that with them as well. It's a great opportunity to really share your passion and love for science and just welcoming people to our wonderful facility.
All right, we're going to take a break now. And if Sarah, and we got some more questions we know, and we're hoping the students will stay. And if you would like to identify yourself as a student, some of you I know, like I knew Jerry. But let's do a little halftime piece, Sarah, if you can do the last link that you received. And this is from a football game at Duke University, and it's the marching band from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. And it starts at 25 seconds in, and it ends at 1 minute and 25 seconds. So hopefully Sarah can find that and put it up, and I think you will enjoy it. And there we go. So let's get that party started. And I think you might need to turn it up a little bit, Sarah. And while they're playing, I will say North Carolina A&T is the #1 public HBCU in the United States, and they are the #1 producers of engineers. They also have a school of agriculture. So as they say, before agriculture, there was no culture. And as you see, they're going to do the A&T block in conjunction with the Duke University. So that's what A&T does. You got to go visit sometime. It's a great place. And Sarah's going to put this link in the chat if you want to look at the whole thing. So thank you. So now we're ready to go back to some questions. I think we had some in the chat. I'm out of wit. I know I'm not getting that right, but you want to go ahead and do that, Jerry?
Yes, she says, are there virtual options for both the volunteering or internships?
So we actually did have a couple of virtual internships available for the spring semester. We had one with our Naturalist Center, who they're currently closed at the moment because of the construction for Dueling Dinosaurs. But they have like an internship class where they do a lot of the sorts of things that they would go over in their typical in-person internship. They do that online, but they also do things like preparing resumes, things like that in the class. And Cindy, please jump in if I miss anything. So we had the Naturalist Center. Our head of technology was looking for interns. He was having them doing projects in areas like web development, GIS, bioinformatics, and I think one more. He had a very long list of potential projects for his interns. We also had a science communications virtual internship through our Whiteville branch because they look for students to help them with different types of science communication. So that might be putting together things for their social media, doing more science communication with education. So they have a lot of different projects for students that way. And then virtual volunteering opportunities. And we don't have any at the moment that I know of, Cindy, and please correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that there were a couple of areas that had volunteers virtually while we were closed down.
We also have our citizen science projects. We have many citizen science projects, and that's through our research and collections. And people can go out there, and most of those are actually virtual projects that they can do.
Okay, and we're going to have some comments, but before then, I want to ask a question because on the last Saturday of January, y'all do these rockets outside, which reminds me of our engineering program. But do you plan on doing that? And will you be open Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving?
Well, lucky for us, we're closed Thanksgiving Day. So we get to go have turkey like everybody else. But the day after Thanksgiving, we're open back up for the public. We'll be open that whole weekend. And then the next time we're closed, we're going to be closing Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the Sunday and Monday after. So we're closed 4 days at Christmas, and then we'll be closed a few days at New Year's. We'll be closed New Year's Day as well. And I believe we're closed the day after New Year's. That's further out, gosh. But as far as the event you're talking about in January, that's called Astronomy Days. And it's our only festival of the year that is typically a 2-day festival. Most of our things like Bug Fest, Darwin Day, Reptile and Amphibian Day are single-day festivals. But at the very last weekend of January every year, we have Astronomy Days. And so that's where that'd be a great time for engineering students to come out and check out the rockets and that sort of thing. Now, just recently we had an in-person Darwin Day. For the first time in a year and a half, did we have a big, in-person event here at downtown Raleigh. We've had a smaller event out at Prairie Ridge, but the Darwin Day was in person outside the plaza in front of the museum because we're still trying to be really cautious with COVID. We don't want people coming to visit us and being in masses of people and getting sick. So I'm not sure what the final decision is going to be come January. We're trying to follow the science, be very responsive. If things are back to normal, hopefully we'll have an in-person event and hopefully we'll be able to let people, come in the museum, but we're going to have to wait and see what the science tells us. So again, check that events page on our website and we'll be putting information there when we know what it is. I think the decision's not quite made yet on that one, but it's a fun day. It's one of my favorites.
And Jerry, I know you have a lot of questions, but let's get some comments from the audience at this point. Kevin Brown, he's our Associate Vice President in Enrollment and Student Services. Go ahead, Jerry.
Kevin Brown says, that's really interesting. I look forward to seeing that.
Thank you, Kevin. Sonia Hayes.
Sonia says, Dueling Dinosaurs, super cool. I'll be checking this out.
Laura Bethay.
And Laura Bethay says, love the halftime show. Go NCANT.
Sonia Haynes.
She also says, I visit the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences at least once per year. I love it.
Laura Bethay.
She says, happy National Career Development Month.
And thank you, Laura, and all of Career Services for partnering with the Michael Eure Show and Eagle Stream to help celebrate. And they have a lot of events. It's not just this. And I'm going to ask Angelica, can you talk about some of the other events you have coming up for National Career Development Month?
Definitely. So we have a lot of opportunities for students to just engage wherever they're at in their career journey. We just had an event with NASA, where we did a virtual tour of their Jet Propulsion Lab. And they have an amazing interactive website that if you were unable to join us, you can visit. We have all of the information online, and you can take a look around and get a better idea of what that facility looks like. We have an upcoming one with Amazon, so join us for that virtual tour. I'll have to look at the dates for these. I'll definitely put them up for you. I'll put them in the chat so that Sarah can post them. And but the Career Services Office is always available to students. There's our website, careers.waketech.edu. We have open career lens labs where you can pop in and get some advice on your major, on what different career options you have with your degree program, different institutions you can transfer to, all kinds of information. And of course, here on our site, you can use those two buttons there, the orange and blue buttons, to schedule an individual appointment if you'd like some more individual attention. We can do these virtually or on any one of our campuses with a qualified career coach. So we definitely welcome and encourage all students to take advantage of this opportunity. We are here to help you. We understand it can be an anxious process. It's stressful. You can be overwhelmed by, I don't know what I want to do, or I just took this because I know the money's good, or there's lots of jobs there, but I don't know what to do with it, or I don't really like it. All of those feelings are okay. We welcome them. We're here to help you out. Just feel free to pop on by.
All right, thank you. And we have another comment, and this is Jack Miller. He's a student, I believe. I know Jack. You want to do that, Jerry?
Jack Miller says, I haven't been to the museum in about 8 years. I remember going there as a kid and really enjoying it. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Go ahead, Jerry. You were going to say something?
Oh, no, I just said I want to go again.
Oh, yeah. And that means that this museum is doing something right, and it's very exciting, because sometimes people think of museums as very stuffy places where you walk and look. But I remember many years ago going to that museum that you're representing, and there was a tropical rainforest in there, and I would just go back 2 or 3 times a week just to walk through there. I mean, the work you do is just awesome. And at this point, do we have another question, Jerry? And for students, if you continue asking questions, you still got a chance to win the cool giveaway. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, for Cindy, Albert, and Sarah, what advice would you give to someone who thinks they might be interested in having a career at the Natural Science Museum or similar institution?
Well, I'm going to tell a quick story on myself. So the first time I ever came to our museum, I was 6 years old, and I'm 54 right now. In a few months, I'll be 55. So you can do the math. It's a very long time ago. I fell in love with this place. And then when I went to NC State, but I also took classes at Wake Tech back in the day too. So I'm an alum. And I just really love this place. I've always loved it. And so I started volunteering here as soon as I was a freshman at NC State and have never left. So I would say if you really are not sure what your career path is going to be, try out different internships, do volunteer work, go and do the thing you think you want to love to do, and find out how much you love it before you spend, your whole academic career focused on something and then find out, well, I don't really like doing it. I thought I did, but I don't. So, come see us, come volunteer with us, be an intern with us or some other organization. It's the best learning experience you could possibly have.
And one thing I will say to the Wake Tech students, we do have a co-curricular transcript that goes with your academic transcript. So all of your volunteer experiences and internships go on that transcript. And if you wanted to transfer, let's just use NC State for an example, they're going to see that you're a student leader or that you're a volunteer. You're the kind of student they want. So you want to take advantage of these opportunities. You're very fortunate to live in Wake County and Raleigh. And even if you have family out in the far reaches, you can share this information, because I believe that students are all ambassadors. At Jerry Greene, you've been an excellent success coach outreach ambassador. I have had great students working with me. And I think that they are the leaders, and we need to empower them to know that they can go out and share this information. So I'm gonna be quiet and let us see if we have a last question for Jerry. But before we do that, no, I'll wait until you finish because I'm gonna get everybody to give their information. But Jerry, you can go ahead and ask that last question.
I think that's what the last question relates to.
Okay.
How can students or other individuals get in touch with you?
For each of you.
For each of you.
Yeah, you can start Angelica and
Angelica and
Cindy,
I should
Albert, and Sarah.
Absolutely. My email address is there on screen. So it's arblanks@waketech.edu. You can also email Career Services, and all of our contact information is on the Wake Tech website.
And before you go, Cindy, I did want to say this. I neglected. We do translate this into a podcast that people can't see, but they can only hear it. So when you give your contact information, you probably need to say the letters or the number, whichever way you did it. All right, Cindy.
Okay. I can be reached at cindy.bogan@naturalsciences.org. Make sure it's natural sciences with an S, plural, because otherwise it doesn't get to me. But you can always reach me there, and I will answer your question as quickly as possible.
Albert?
Sure. So my email address is albert.ervin, and that's ERVIN, @naturalsciences, again, plural.org. You can also go to our website, which is naturalsciences.org, and look up the staff contact list, and you can find any of us there as well.
And also, I want to remind the audience, all of these links are in the chat, and you can go back and get that at any time because it will be saved perpetually in YouTube. All right, Sarah?
Sorry, y'all, my audio is somehow getting worse. So if I have a delayed response, that's why. But my email address, it's sarah.irizarry, last name Irizarry, @naturalsciences.org. Sciences, plural, like everybody else's email. I also wanted to mention that on the portal, there are links to contact the volunteer coordinator and the internship coordinator. So if you click contact the volunteer coordinator, that will take you to an email for Cindy. Contact the internship coordinator, that will take you to an email for me.
Okay, so we're gonna be at 12:50 in 3 minutes. So we're gonna kind of ask Angelica, do we have any more questions or comments? And if we don't, maybe Angelica, would you like to wait till the very, very end after all of you have your opportunity to do your closings? Or would you like to do it now?
I think if the students are done asking their questions, we can award it now. If there are any further questions, then I'll leave that opportunity.
Okay. Well, there are no more questions.
Okay, in that case, I believe our lucky winner is Jack Miller. Thank you so much for being so engaged this afternoon with us. If you could please email me with your Wake Tech email address. Again, you can reach me at arblanks, BLANKS, @waketech.edu, and you are the winner of a $50 Visa gift card.
Congratulations, Jack. All right. You can't win it if you're not in it. So at this point, I'm going to ask, and we're going to start with Jerry, then we're going to do Angelica, and then Cindy, and then Albert, and then Sarah. If you can just give us your closing statements.
I just want to say I'm happy to be a part of this discussion. I haven't been to the museum in a long time, but with all the opportunities and internships, I kind of want to get more involved and might want to come down to visit sometime soon.
All right. And Angelica?
I just want to thank you all for involving career services and being, Michael, you're such a proponent of our office, and we really appreciate that. To all the students who were able to come today, please do engage with our office. We are here to help you, and please do follow Albert, Sarah, and Cindy's wonderful advice about following your passions, going for those things that you're really interested in. That is how you land the job where you are happy to wake up in the morning and make your way there. So this office is here to support you, and we hope you'll join us either in office for an appointment, virtually, or at one of our Career Lens labs.
Cindy.
I want to thank you for inviting us to be on part of this podcast. This is a first for us, actually. And I hope we have a whole lot more chance to partner with Wake Tech.
And I'm going to be one of those advocates through not just career services, but particularly in our natural sciences areas. And maybe you can come visit some classes virtually. And I think that would be awesome for us.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
All right, Albert.
I just want to say thank you, Michael, for inviting us today and giving us a chance to share out what we're doing and how we can collaborate. And I'm really grateful for this beginning of this new relationship that we're establishing. When we had the idea earlier this year, I was very excited, and I'm surprised we, had not done this before. So I'm really grateful to keep moving forward together.
And before Sarah goes, I'm surprised as well, not just because of the museum, but Wake Tech is in Wake County. It's a very prominent institution, very large, with 10 campuses and 20-something thousand degree-seeking students and 50,000 workforce development students. We need to reach out more as well. And our new theme is Reach and Rally. So we're reaching out to you, and we're going to rally, and we're going to get these students excited, because I'm excited. All right, Sarah, go ahead.
All right. I just want to echo what Albert and Cindy said, that, thank you for having us on. I was having some technical difficulties over here, but everybody, please come down, visit us, come down to the museum, come see the museum. We are free to the public. Come experience it, come see dinosaurs, whatever you're really interested in. And also know that at any point, if you stop by the guest services desk, ask for one of us. We are just right upstairs. We work directly with the guest services team. We can be down there in a couple minutes, and we love to welcome folks to the museum, share our excitement and our interests, and just get more people excited about getting involved with the museum, but with science as a whole. So I'm very excited to see where our partnership will go from here.
I'm excited. And Enrique, we're going to get the athletic department involved. You need to bring that women's soccer team down there. They can volunteer, or they can just visit. I think a lot of students at Wake Tech are really not from Wake County. That's important to know. People move here every single day, and Wake Tech just gets on the radar. And we get students that have children. This is a wonderful place for you to take your children. You got friends. You don't have a lot of places that are safe you can visit. This is the place you can go. Very spacious. Take advantage of it. You live in Raleigh, but you need to be more of Raleigh. And when I say Raleigh, I mean the triangle. We need triangle lights from Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Holly Springs, all the places, Cary. Everybody needs to go. So we're about finished, and we just want everybody to wave goodbye. And audience, remember, this is something that you can share with your folk and get people involved. So thank you so much. And thank you, Sarah.